Well, good morning. Good morning to those of you who are out there, to my viewers who are watching Fab News this morning. I have with me today in the studio a special guest with me who is from Timmonsville, South Carolina, and I am going to bring him in, and that is the Chief McFadden from Timmonsville Police Department. I'm going to give you an opportunity, Chief, if you will, to just introduce yourself to the viewers and just tell them a little bit about you.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm Chief Thomas McFadden. Like he said, I'm from Timmonsville, born and raised in Timmonsville, South Carolina. I am the chief of police here in the great town of Timmonsville. I've been in law enforcement 25 years, well, 20, really 26, 27, but 25th year in law enforcement here. I came from the Florence County Sheriff's Office. I started back in 1997 at the Sheriff's Office in the detention center. From there, in '98, I went to Lake City Police Department where I worked on patrolling with a patrol supervisor. I returned back to Florence County in 2002 on patrol for 2 years. 2004, I took on the road in criminal investigation. Had an opportunity to work on a homicide unit for several years there. I stayed in investigations from 2004 until I took over in Timmonsville here at the end of 2020, December 2020, where my current role is the chief of police.
Right. And I've seen, Chief, that you're doing a great job in Timmonsville. I see you doing a whole lot of things, and there are so many things that we can talk about today. Just you're doing, but first of all, I want you to just tell the viewers what is your what is your take on the crime in Timmonsville? What are you doing about it? What is your take on it? And I see the crime has really dropped, but just tell us, what are you doing about it?
Through my years, like I told them when they hired me, through the years I built a lot of relationships with the state, local and state government, federal government, and I partnership with them to assist me. The county gives me assistance because I came from the county, so I have a lot of help and assistance from county, SLED with the state, also with the FBI, and the Marshal Service. So what I do, I told them my experience is with dealing with Timmonsville. Timmonsville was part of my area when I worked in the investigation. So I said once I got here, I think it just had to be accountability. There were several people here that were out on bonds for shootings, and I said they were already out on a bond and commit another crime, then they need to be in the jail. They need to be held accountable. I told them it wasn't going to be you commit a crime and you'll still be out in the streets. And I always make a quote saying it's not. I won't have it. It might not be Mayberry, but I want to get as close as possible. When I used to come and work events, everybody would be scared, saying, "Well, let's get off the street before these young kids come out." And I said, "No, it don't supposed to be that way. I want the young men and young women, to respect the authority, to respect your elders. Where if you see it, when I was growing up, you didn't curse or you didn't around here raising sand or fighting in front of your elders or doing stuff like that. I just think they weren't being held accountable. So once you commit a crime, you're gonna have to face the consequences. So nothing gonna be unpunished and going without consequence. So they knew I'm fair, I'm firm. I treat you like you want to be treated. Like I told my officers, I'm all about community policing. I want to build relationships. If you look on our vehicles, we got bridging the gap. If you look on our page, hashtag bridging the gap. I want to bridge the gap between community and law enforcement. But on the same hand, I don't care what level you're living in, the poverty or high wealthy area. Everybody want to be safe and deserve to be safe. So if you commit a crime or a violent area, we're gonna address it and we're gonna make sure the people in the community feel safe.
So also, I see, man, you were just appointed to the PD board. Tell us what that's about, man. I think that's you're putting Timmonsville in the spotlight. So just talk to us about what is that board about that you've been
Yeah.
appointed to.
It's the South Carolina Chiefs Association over the state of South Carolina, which consists of chief from big departments all the way to smaller departments. And I always say the majority, the smaller departments, the 10 or less are the bigger departments in the state. So what we do with the Chief Association, we got 4 regions, and I was nominated and voted to be the representative for the PD region. So I'll keep us. We'll be kept up to date on the trainings, new legislations, What we're trying to do is give all the communities the best of the top leaders in the communities and state, so that when nobody be left behind when it comes to updating laws or new legislation or any kind of training. You want to give your community, like I would talk with the sheriff and I talk with the chief in Florence. We as the community leaders, we want to make sure we protect our community as best possible. If you have a situation, we don't want to say, well, I didn't know about this or I wasn't prepared for that. So you want to always be, prepared just in case, because your community looking at you when something go wrong. They're looking for us to take care of them. So we the reason, I say a lot of time I want to be the reason when people resting at night, resting well. I want to say because we got great leaders in place, with when it comes to the chiefs in this state and in this PD region. So that's what we do. We try to keep us up to breast of any kind of new training, any kind of new intel that coming out about crimes or anything. We try to stay up above it and pass it on to our chiefs in our region. That way they can be abreast and the community can stay safe.
Okay. So I want to commend you too. I mean, I see that you are definitely not just talking the talk, but you're actually doing it. Want to certainly just talk briefly, if I will. I saw on yesterday that you guys were actually giving out some food, and I have some highlights from the food that you were actually giving out. But I want you to just talk about let's talk about just this food, Greg's Grocery. It is, and I see here that you're actually holding a box in your hand that you're giving away to somebody and just putting back into the community. And I gotta commend you, Chief, because I want to tell you, man, I know this is your hometown, but there are not many chiefs that you're going to find that is approachable. Number one, you're very approachable, and most chiefs, man, you got to go through the back door and you got to talk to so many people, and
Yeah.
you still don't get to see you. And then I see you, I commend you because I see you oftentimes riding through the hood and riding through the city and talking with the folks. But before I get to the next thing, let's talk about this food. I see all these boxes of food in this Greg's Grocery. Just tell the viewers about that.
Yeah, Greg was an officer in the community in the Columbia area, Forest Lake, and he was responding to a call at the mall for a suspicious vehicle. When he approached the vehicle, he was to talk with the individual. He was shot and killed. But the drawings you see on the box was some artwork that Greg was doing. He was all about giving back, trying to. He said for every negative story in law enforcement, there was a couple thousand of positive stories. So him riding around his community, networking with people, just trying to give back. So his wife, after he was killed, she decided to come up with what he called Greg's Grocery Serve and Connect. And that what that about. You serving those food boxes to family, but you can making a connection with them too. A positive interaction with law enforcement, not just when you call a 911, you see us. They was trying to bridge the gap. And just the same thing I said when I got here about community policing. I want people to know my officer by name and not just by face. I want to know the name and name. Hey, that officer such and such, he all right. That person, he pretty good. Like you said, be approachable. I told him just because I took this title as chief, I wasn't gonna change as a person that when you got to go to the back door and see me, I'm gonna still get out. I'm gonna go like I had a little basketball tournament. I'm gonna still get out here. We're gonna play basketball together. We're gonna have a good little time. I want people to see, that we are approachable. So that food box, it'll feed a family of need for a family of four and a family of need for seven days, the whole week. It'll take care of that family. So she started off with a small venue of it. That what you saw there was 2,000 boxes that was going to distribute out throughout the state for the departments that participate in Greg's Grocery. When I became a chief, I got an email about it, and I said, "Oh man, that's something good for my community." So I want to make sure I'm giving back and try to take care of people in the community. Also, if I'm riding somewhere else, so I'm going somewhere, I see somebody on the side of the road got a sign up saying need help or need food, that one of those boxes we'll actually keep in the vehicle just in case there's somebody we missed like that day. We always hold some boxes back, and I go around to different houses that I know. And I told that changed the aspect because people knew I was an investigator. And they always thought when I pull up in bad news. So when I got here, I saw the looks on their faces like, oh no, here you go. But now when I give out them boxes, they wave, hey chief, or blowing the horn, waving at me. So it's a different aspect. So I enjoy that and this joy giving back. I'm gonna do my part while I'm here.
Okay. And I heard you talk about basketball. Something happened. I heard you talk about basketball, and I want to give a few highlights of just Chief, and then we're going to talk about this basketball. As you can see, this is a picture of him actually with the PD, where he has been, placed there on the PD. And as you can see, I shared early, here he is. He's giving away some food. So we have a working chief here that is just getting back into the community. And so I want to talk about this. I see you got some food there representing Timmonsville Police Department, and you got some food there that you're sharing with somebody. But
Yeah.
I want to talk about this cops in the park. See y'all
Yes.
holding a trophy, and so let's just
Yeah.
talk
That.
about cops in the park, man.
Yeah. That was a tournament. The cops in the park, just for the community, a good another interaction. Everybody want to play the police. Most half the law enforcement probably ex athletes anyway. So that was the department, the sheriff's department. That was Florence City was there. Darlington County was part of that. We had that was Fulton County. One of them for Atlanta. They were there. I'm not sure if something was there or not. Richmond something wasn't there, but there were several departments in the area that was a part of that. And we had a good time that morning and afternoon playing basketball. A bunch of people from the community put teams together and came out to play us and play the department. So we had a good time and good action. Had hot dogs and chips and drinks out there for them, and had a good interaction. Now they wait for another cop to depart so they could go against us again. I think I felt like a truck ran me over because I had to stay on the court so much that everybody wanted to play the chief. Get on our court, chief. We want to play against you. Come on, we want to play. So everybody want to say they was beating up on the police and beating up on the chief and having a good time. So that was a good time, giving back and having a positive interaction with the community in Lake City. That we did a lot of that when I was in Lake City back in '98. We did a lot of COP, the community police, and whether it was softball, volleyball, little cookouts in the park with law enforcement. I felt that they had a good relationship. So if you ever have something in the town, your community will come together knowing they can trust law enforcement, that they're trying to do their best to take care of them. So that's all I want the people to know, to build trust and build that gap, bridge that gap.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, Chief, you are a busy man, and certainly we appreciate, man, everything that you do and everything that you have been doing for us here in the community. Last but not least, I want to share this funny video of Chief. Um, he got some highlights from this video here, where if you can see here, Chief is a jokester, and I think
Yeah,
that keeps everybody laughing. Man, his job is comical, so he never comes in and have a dull moment. And so, again, I thank you for all that you do, Chief. I can tell you that we feel safe in the community, and we know that. And I know many times, people will not tell you thank you, because they think it's just a job. But being in ministry, I understand, man, your heart has to be in it. And I
yeah,
appreciate, your heart being in it, because it's not just, hey man, I get a paycheck. There's sometimes in the evening time after work, I jump on that motorcycle, I'm gonna take a quick spin around the block, and I see that black truck just riding, coasting through the neighborhood 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And we all know, and I'm saying this because I want the constituents to understand the kind of chief that we have. And that's a good thing, because 8 or 9 o'clock at night, you the chief.
yeah,
I'm sure it's at many other municipalities, they're not going to see the chief 8 or 9 o'clock.
yeah,
They may see the captain, they may see the major, but they definitely not going to see the chief. So,
yeah.
man, I want to say appreciate all that you do for the town of Timmonsville. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your leadership. And I gotta say, man, the crime rate has dropped. People, they respect the law now. They respect, you've brought integrity back to the police department, and I appreciate that, man. You could even, I tell folks this at church, the church I pastor, I say, you will know the leader based upon the people who work under. I don't have to figure out the leader, but if you see the people, if they got a bad attitude, the leader probably got a bad attitude. But I see the officers, man, they're waving and getting out and talking to people and helping people. And that says a whole lot, man. So again, I want
Thank
to
you.
thank the chief. And I'm gonna let you finish out this interview, man, telling the great people of Timmonsville and the viewers whatever you want to tell them, man. It's on you.
Now, I just want to thank, we always like to thank the citizens in this great town and the community. I tell them for being a part of the solution and not part of the problem. So We got great people here, and I told people that I'll tell people that I'll shout Timmonsville to the top of my lungs all over the state, all over the nation. That we are a great community, got great people here, great leaders, and they really care about their town and community. So I thank them for being part of the solution and not part of the problem.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for joining Fab News. And
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
All right. You be blessed,
All
and you take care.
right. Thank you.